I gotta say, man, I did not expect this so far from the Flyers. Flyers are actually a pretty good hockey team so far this season. Don't know if it's going to last the entire year, but hey, if you were to tell me the Flyers would be playing this well this deep in December at this point, I would not have believed you. I definitely would not have believed you, and I would have every reason not to believe you because going into this season, I came in with the expectation that this was going to be a rebuilding year. I think most Flyers fans came in with that expectation, and we were fine with it. We were fine with the young guys getting more experience, probably losing way more games than winning, but maybe flipping off some pieces at the deadline. I trust Danny Briere to make the right decision here after what the mess that Chuck Fletcher left us in. But the Flyers are actually winning games, and they're winning games against some pretty good opponents too, which is very, very surprising. Right now, the Flyers have a record of 16-10-3. That's 35 points in 29 games. And that would be around 100 points, close to 100 points on the season if they were to keep up that pace. The Flyers have a better record right now than a lot of perennial playoff teams like the Penguins, the Oilers, the Lightning even, which is extremely shocking. Now, I was iffy on the John Tortorella signing when he got hired a few before last season. He's a legend, obviously. He won the Stanley Cup all the way back in '04. The Flyers are his fifth team that he's coached, and he's got a very distinct style. His style is very in your face, very big personality, and he preaches defense, and that's what the Flyers have done so far. John Tortorella has gotten the best out of this roster, without a doubt. The Flyers actually have an identity now, and that identity is based on hard work, defense, blocking shots, physicality, and a lot of the points, a lot of the offense is coming from a lot of the young guys, which is very, very good to see. Obviously, we have Sean Couturier coming back, and he's been fantastic so far. He's looked like the Sean Couturier of old. But a lot of the youth on the roster has stepped up, and which is very, very important, very, very huge, considering the fact where this franchise is looking to be going for the rest of this decade. Travis Konechny has really blossomed so far into potentially like a top 20, top 25. That's being a little generous, but maybe even top 25 player in this league. I mean, he's top 10 in goals scored so far. And if you were to ask my honest opinion, he's probably going to be the next captain of this team, assuming he's not traded, and I don't think he should be traded. I mean, he's going to be a really big asset for this team down into the future with all the future players that we're going to have. But yeah, he's been fantastic so far. Owen Tippett has proved that the Drew trade actually was a pretty good trade for the Flyers, and he's been a really good asset. Young guys like Cam York, Tyson Forster, and Bobby Brink have showed a lot of promise so far in their very young careers. Travis Sanheim, he's having the best season of his career so far, at least points-wise. Even Joel Farabee, who had a rough season last year, he's actually getting back on the scoreboard now. There's a lot to be excited with this team. I already thought that way in the future, but we're actually winning games now, which is not expected. I mean, we've got guys like young kids like Matvey Michkov and Cutter Gauthier coming in, and I can't wait for that. These two guys look like absolute young studs, like franchise-altering talents. They're going to help this team big time in the future, and the fact that we're winning games right now is a very, very promising sign. And here's the thing. Since we're rebuilding, if the season actually goes down and we actually start losing and we ended up not making the playoffs, I'm personally fine with it because we got all these assets in the future, and like I said, we're rebuilding. This is basically playing with house money at this point. And it's a really good sign. It's a really good sign considering that the Flyers are overachieving so much at a time when the three other big teams in the city, the Eagles, the Phillies, and the Sixers, they're all teams that are trying to win a championship. They're all championship contending teams, but each of them have disappointed and frustrated and broken hearts in their own unique ways. So it's kind of nice that the Flyers, the distant fourth most popular team in the city, team that some Philadelphia fans can't really get behind. They barely get talked about on 94.1 on WIP or the Fanatic. That barely anyone wants to talk about them. But hey, I care. I love this team. And it's a really refreshing sign that they're actually overachieving at a time when a lot of our other teams are being frustrating and basically underachieving at this point. It's a real breath of fresh air. So, no matter how the Flyers finish this season, I'm going to be looking forward to the future. But the fact that they're winning right now and they're actually a pretty entertaining watch, that's like icing on the cake to me. So, yeah, really good start to the season for the Flyers, and I can't wait to watch more of them.